I'm very excited about this documentary. It's going to definitely be life-changing. It's his real life with James Duplessis. I am Dexter Hamilton, cinematographer, uh, executive producer of this documentary, and I'm really looking forward to sharing James' story. So stay tuned. There's more to come.
Hi, I'm Special Butler, 22 years old, the DSW of James Duplessis.
Why DSW? What's that with you? Why have you chose that field?
I always been in the medical field though, really.
Is that your passion? Do you
It
have
is.
a passion to care for people?
Yes,
Why
that's
did
my
you choose?
passion. I want to be a nurse. This is step forward. I want to be a nurse. It's
So,
some days me and James come in here and we be laughing all day. And some days he just be down, like he don't want to be bothered. James, what's wrong with you?
are the days when he's down? Are those tough days for you?
Yes, it is. I don't like to see him like that. I'm going. Come on, let's get up. Come on, get up, get up, get up. Let's go. We going. And for him to just don't feel like it today, it's something really wrong with him. And I could tell. I don't like it. Stop. Stop. Me and Bud, we really cool. Like he could tell me whatever. I'll be off work. He texts me like 3 o'clock in the morning, ready. Like, when you coming back to work? What day you come back to work? Just cause he know I'm caring for him. Like I'm here for him. And for them not to do nothing for him, like it was just. And one day, I remember it was on a Friday. I cooked him us hot dogs. We had movies, watched movies. Put a hot dog in the microwave. He ate one, left one here. The 2 days later, the same hot dog in the microwave. The same. Soon as I came in, me, I'm like, what's up, bud? What you been doing? Nothing. This how you talking, like nothing. What's wrong with you? It's like nothing. James, I know it's something wrong with you. Man, I'm hungry. You ain't ate nothing? No, I ain't ate nothing in 2 days since the last time you fixed me that hot dog. What? Yes, I come in here. Same hot dog, how I fixed it and everything was still here. But when I'm at work, they used to come like it's all cool. They come in here, what's up, bud? Faking. The whole time it's fake. But when I'm not at work and they working, it ain't nothing. It's neglect. Like, really. I don't like that. I turned against them for my white boy. That's what they say, for real. But it's just right. He can't do nothing for himself.
You're right. You're right.
That messed up. It really was. No, it was another thing they did too, what really pissed me off. And I told James, I said, I don't care. You got to call somebody, or I'm going to call them. For real, because I'm not about to keep letting them do you like that. And I'm here. One night, because this is a couple, JoJo and the wife. The wife worked the morning shift, JoJo worked night shift. But this one night, the wife went here. She go home. Who knows? James don't know you went home. You always here with him. This one night, she went home and he pooped. But he texted her like at 8 o'clock that, evening, night. D, can you come fix my legs? I think I need changing. Why you couldn't text him back and say, well, I'm not there? She waited till the next morning. And she come in. This the day I came in at 3. Yes, I remember. She come in at whatever time. He said she was late. She didn't get here till about 8 that morning. That's when she come in. Why you didn't tell JoJo you need change? And why you tell me? I wasn't here last night. This how she talking to him. I already know how St. Beach be trying to talk to. Oh, well, D, my bad. This how he is. Oh, well, D, I know, my bad. I thought you was here. No. Oh, and you should have told JoJo. I wasn't here. I don't work after 7. But you always here. And it's your husband. And you he don't do nothing, so you do it. So why is the big deal now? After that, I was like, yeah, because he got a sore on his butt, and it's bad now. From the feces sitting on him. I'm telling you, I can't. Because I worked for JoJo. I came in early that day, and that's what he was telling me. Man, I'm glad you here. Like, he was really happy. I'm like, you must miss me, man. It's hell when they hear them 2 days, them 3 days. You not here. It's just, that's my boy. That's my bro. Mm-mm. So I try my best to get some good people in here, and it's hard. Because nobody don't care like you care.
I just get ready to say that.
Because nobody don't care like you care. So me trying to my best to get these sores off this, but I could work hard all my 12 hours. The next 12 hours, they don't do nothing. And then I come back, gotta work extra hard to make sure that's right.
You know, special, what really bothers me, and I'll be totally honest with you, is that you have all these workers in the medical field that don't care.
They don't care. They just there for a check. I hate it. All these nurses want to be.
Hi, I'm Heather Dippleshan. I'm 22 years old, and I'm James's little sister. I don't know. The biggest impact about this is whenever we were growing up, me and my brother were always close. We didn't live. I lived with Mom. He lived with our grandparents. You know, we had the same dad, but whenever he was around, we were always really close, like connected. No matter how long we go without each other, we're always connected. And actually, the day before he had his accident, he had put something on there about going canoeing. And I had commented on it, and I had said, I wish I could go with you. And he was like, yeah, me too. And then the next day is when he had his accident, on the 19th of July, and it was 4 days before my 17th birthday. And so we went to the hospital, and I never left him. I left him for my birthday. I had to go home for like a week. And then whenever we finally got him home and doing good, because he was in the hospital for a long time, so I only got to see him every once in a while. But whenever he come home, I got qualified to sit with him. And I sat with him for about a year. And I lived with him. Wasn't supposed to, but I did. And I took care of every day. I did everything besides like maybe give him a bath or whatever. But I fed him, kept him happy. What he wanted, he got it, and I stayed up with him late at night. Lord, that boy could stay up for days. I just do not have the energy for that. But, eventually he sat me down and he was like, Sissy, I know you want to be here and you don't want to leave me, but it was killing me to see my brother like that. Like, my favorite thing about him being like that is he's still him. The only thing different about him is he cannot move. He is still Bud, and that's what I love about him. He's goofy, he's happy, he's humble. He handled this better than I know I would have. I wouldn't have handled it as well as him. He has way more good days than he does bad days. And that's why he's my number one inspiration to do everything that I do. If he can do it, I know I can do it. Because, I can reach up and scratch my nose or walk around, go get me something to drink, and he has to depend on everybody else to do that for him. So that makes me humble and grateful for everything that I have because of the fact that I can do those things and he can't. He still puts a smile on. He still jokes. He still plays. He still, he's still him. And that to me is stronger than anybody else I know. Very, very much stronger. He amazes me every day because sometimes he does have his days, who wouldn't? But he has more good days than he does bad days, and the fact that he can still be happy is beyond me. I don't think I can do it. I really don't.
I challenging has it been to watch him at his lowest points? Depressed, not feeling as though he wants to go on in life. How do you handle those times?
I've actually been there a couple of times when he had some of them moments, and he confided in me, you know, and it's really hard for me to be like, it's okay. You know, it's hard for me to be like, you know, you're going to be all right. You know, it's hard for me to be like that because I couldn't imagine every single day for the last, 5 years, he just lays there. He can't do anything, you know, and he depends on everybody else, and so many people have took advantage of him and stole from him. They, you know, took his kindness for weakness because they know he can't do anything. They just leave. They do whatever they want. You know, that's not, to me, I don't see how a human being can do that to somebody else. I gotta say, on some of his weakest days, he still amazes me.
Yes. Yes.
Because he may, you know, some days have them days where he wants to give up.
Yes.
But he has this moment. He seeps in it for a minute, and then he goes on about it.
Yes.
He doesn't dwell on it. You know, he releases what he needs to release. He vents to me or whatever. He says what he has to say, and then he's okay. You know, I mean, whether or not he got dealt a shitty hand, excuse the language, he made the best of it.
Yes.
He makes the best of it every single day.
Every day, yes.
You know, so it makes me, like, when I'm complaining, oh, I don't have a car, you know, I had to move back in with mom and dad, and I just had a baby, and I'm a single mom. That's still nothing compared to what he goes through every single day.
That's wonderful.
Because I'm capable.
Yes.
I'm gonna go back to school and finish getting my GED and get a car and a house and everything. But I know that I'm gonna get that done.
Yes.
You know, it's two different worlds,
Yes.
and people fail to see it from his side.
Yeah.
You know, like days he don't want to talk. Okay, I can see that. I have days I don't want to talk.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you just need to be by yourself, and other times you need people. But you know. Like, you know, I'll call him, he won't answer the phone, and I always pick on him, you butthole, you know, I can't stand you, da-da-da-da, but in reality, I understand.
Yes.
And he can't pick up the phone for himself, so I'll be mad at him for that.
Yes.
You know, which I do pick on him. You was on Facebook, but you didn't call me back? Or, no, the famous, oh, I'm going to call you back in a minute, sissy. And he never calls back. What you doing, little girl?
Hi, I'm Maria Frazier, 50 years old. I am married to Bruce. I have 3 children, Paige, Grant, and Elise. I've been an educator for just over 20 years, and I relocated to Kinder approximately 15 years ago. I am an educator. I teach elementary school. I've been doing it for just over 20 years now. Love kids. Obviously, if I'm a teacher, I have to love kids. And I do. I worry about them educationally, spiritually, mentally.
Can you tell us how you and James met?
I met James about 15 years ago when I relocated to Kinder. Him and my oldest daughter, Paige, were in the same grade. And they became fast friends. They were both quite intellectual students, and they had a lot of fun sparring with each other that way.
I bet so. Will you share some of the knowledge of your interaction with James over the years you've known him?
You know, James was that kid, the kid that just kind of pulled at your heartstrings. He was very quick with his wit, and I loved that about him. He just had that easy smile when he walked into the room. It's like when he entered the room, you know, James is there. And you wanted to talk to him. You wanted to engage him. He had that kind of a personality that kind of just, if you didn't notice him right away, you were going to notice him pretty soon.
Absolutely. Do you remember the day or the time you can recall learning of his accident?
Living in a small town, 2 things travel fast. Good news and bad news.
Mm-hmm.
And when it happened to James, it pretty much enveloped the whole town of Kinder really quickly.
How has his accident changed the nature of your interaction with him before? Do you per se still interact with him much these days, or?
Unfortunately, I'd have to say no.
Okay.
Not because I don't want to interact with James. Feasibility wise, it's difficult to interact with James. I have tried to keep in contact with him via phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
Proximity wise, he lives a distance from here. But it doesn't mean that I don't want a relationship with James.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to still have a close relationship with him.
What would you like to see James doing in the next 12 months?
That's a really interesting question.
Yeah.
You know, I think probably anybody would say that they'd love to see James get up and walk again.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. Maybe someday technology will catch up with that.
Yes.
I think more than anything, I want James to know that he still has a purpose.
Yes.
I want James to know that that mind that he has, that personality that he has, he can reach out and he can touch people anytime that he wants. And hopefully, I'm hoping that by way of this interview and the presentation that's being done for him, that other people will want to reach out to James.
Yes.
And share that magnanimous quality that he has.
Yes.
That draws him in, draws anyone in to his little circle. I'd like to see James get busy. I hope that he does.
My name is Devontae Xavier Hamilton. I'm 25 years old, and I'm also a single father to writer James Mason Hamilton. He's 5 years old. James Duplicien to me is family. He's like a brother. I know for myself I can go to him with anything, and he's gonna give it to me raw, uncut, straight truth, no padded answer. It's gonna be straight up and straightforward. You know, whether it angers you, makes you cry, or whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? Because he's gonna tell you how it is. Me and James actually met in middle school. I moved out to Kinder, Louisiana when I was 12. That was actually one of the first guys that I would say came up to me when my first day and was like, "What's up, man? Where you from?" You know, so it kind of went off from there. We got close in high school though. Our senior year, I was going through some things, and you know he was there, and we've been cool ever since.
Do you remember the day of his accident, and then how did you hear about it?
The day of his accident, I was not there, but the day previously, he had actually messaged me on Facebook. He was back in town. At the time, I think he was working on the railroads. So he was like, "Man, you know, what's up, bro? I'm back in town. Get at me. I want to see you before I leave." So the next day was actually when he had his accident. I found out the day after that. And that's the craziest thing that's the last person I think would break his neck doing a dive into the river, because James was always flipping off of everything, doing backflips. So to hear that, I was shocked. The immediate impact, as soon as I found out James had broke his neck diving into the river, I was shocked, man. I was really caught off guard, because all the time I knew him, he was cutting backflips off of houses, cars, off the ground, you know what I'm saying, onto mattresses and things like that. So to hear him actually diving into the river that he always goes to and breaking his neck, it was just surreal.
What was your initial conversation with James the first time you spoke with him after the accident?
My initial conversation with James, I went to see him in the hospital, and he was like, "Nothing could hold me down, man. We're going to get through this. We're going to get over this." And the last time I had talked to him, I went through a tough time in life, and he reminded me, man, of that time. It's like, you know, I've always been there for you, you know what I'm saying? I know you're going to be there for me.
Yeah.
So it was understood, like, we brothers for life.
What have you learned throughout this process with James that has helped you in your own personal day-to-day life?
There's quite a few things that I've taken from this situation. One major thing being that mental toughness is key for everyone in day-to-day life. Um, James has been a person that's never really depended on anyone as far as needing help for any situation. He's always been the rock. He's been the person that people go to for help, for assistance, you know what I'm saying, for even guidance at certain points. And now he's in a situation where, you know, he depends on people 24/7 for everyday activities, as far as even to the little things as, you know, wiping his nose when he sneezes, or feeding him, giving him something to drink, bathing him. The things that we take for granted every day that we don't necessarily care about, those things are now cared about and needed. You know, those are a necessity. So for him to be mental tough, man, and stick through this whole situation as it unfolds, I've learned for myself, you know, I need to be mentally tough for any situation that comes my way. Because if you're not mentally tough, you're going to give up. And James has given me hope in so many situations in my life just from being mentally strong, you know. As far as other situations go, man, I've noticed from a situation, you find out who's really there for you when the times are down, when the chips are stacked against you and the odds are there. The people that you thought was down for you really aren't. You know, they might pop in and out here and there, but that every day, every second, knowing and reassurance that, okay, I know this person's gonna be here for me no matter what, it shows. And that's one of the major things that I've seen him go through and I've learned from in this situation.
Last question is, how would you define your relationship with James today?
Our relationship with James today, man, is amazing. I call him as much as I can, or whenever he calls me, I try to make a absolute effort to make sure I answer that phone call. I can honestly say we're closer than ever. We have an understanding now of what life really is, who's really there, you know, who's really family. Blood makes you family, but loyalty is even more than that. He's been there from the jump, man, from day one, and this situation has actually brought us closer together, not because of the sadness in it, but the strength that it's brought for both me and him. So our relationship now, man, we blood brothers. That's my dude.
I'm Dex Hamilton, 49 years old, father of Devontae Hamilton, father of James Duplichan. I reside here in Kendall, Louisiana. I'm father of Delicia Hamilton, she's 16, husband to Arlesia Hamilton, and grandfather to Ryder James Mason Hamilton, who is 5. James Duplichan, it's amazing. I met James officially after his accident. He asked Devontae, my son, and he requested that to meet me and my wife. And we, of course, went to see him in St. Patrick's Hospital in Lake Charles, Louisiana, where he then began to apologize to me for something that happened a couple of years before that, when he and Devontae was both in high school, which honestly wasn't at all on my mind. I was just very honored that he had requested to see me and my wife, because our small little town, we'd heard about his accident, and just have an opportunity to go and speak to him, encourage him, or even have an opportunity to pray for him was on my mind that day. But little beknownst to me, my wife and I was greeted by just a beautiful young man who had an experience on the river that day while he was fighting for his life and pretty much fighting to gain consciousness. And he just began to share with us that he asked me personally if I would be in his life and really walk with him through life and just be a mentor or someone that will walk with him and encourage him along the way. And I absolutely accepted. We quickly began to go over our lives and begin to share our lives, what we've been through, and we had a lot of similarities of growing up. I was raised by my grandfather. He was raised by his grandfather. That was the closest person to him, and pretty much when his grandfather had passed a couple years earlier, he felt a sense of aloneness and being abandoned, and so he got into some things in his life that that he necessarily wouldn't have with his grandfather here. However, you know, I totally was able to relate to a lot of things he shared with me, and it was just really a blessing. It was truly a blessing to just have him reach out to me and wanted and desired that relationship with me. And we started, that was the beginning of it after his accident. It's now 4 years later, 4.5 going on 5 years later. And James and I are just, I mean, he's my son. He's not my son's friend. He's my son. We have a lot of late night conversations. James calls me 1, 2, 3 in the morning when he's battling depression, or when he's feeling like he doesn't want to live. He's feeling like he doesn't want to press beyond the torment of his mind because he's having to deal with the battle of he can no longer move like he once moved for 20 years. And I just feel like you know, it's an eye-opening event or encounter to really try to reckon with the fact that what you was able to do for 20 years you can no longer do. And you know, I'm heartbroken by his story every time he tells it. But more so than that, I'm there with him every step of the way, letting him know that his power truly resonates with his mind. He is super smart. He's very sharp. He has things he wants to do. He wants to go back to school. He wants to do things, and he has a short-term goal of getting the activity of one arm, and he has had success with that, with going to a state-funded facility that he made a lot of progress, but after 3 weeks, funding ended, and he had to go back to a living facility. But we have hope. We started the GoFundMe campaign for him, and I absolutely believe and have faith that he will get that limb, he will get that arm, and from there it'll build. We place no limitations on what he can do, because he is truly a hero to most of us. He inspires us more than us walking around with the activity of our limbs and inspire him. I believe that. And I just think he continues to amaze everyone around him every single day of his life. But also, the purpose of this documentary for myself is I've had the conversations, those intimate conversations with him that he talks about, and they became so frequent. I just propositioned him the opportunity to share with the world, share with other quadriplegics who are not strong enough to tackle those issues of neglect, of depression, anxiety. It's something that I think a lot of families really need, and I'm just super blessed to have him in my life and to be a part of this documentary, to share bits and pieces of what I've experienced with him over the last 5 years. So, you know, this is Real Life with James Duplichan. I'm very excited about this mini doc, and I look forward to sharing it with the world. Thank you. So James, how you doing today, man?
I'm always good, man.
That's what's up, man. I really want to let you know I appreciate your time today, allowing me to come here and really spend a couple hours with you, catching up on life and whatnot. But I wanted to ask you a couple questions, if that's cool.
It's fine by me.
Okay. The first thing I want to know is, tell us about your life before your accident.
Well, I lived a relatively good life for the most part. I mean, there was a lot of bad things, but throughout all the bad things, I still managed to make some good times, met a lot of good people. Didn't grow up, with very much, but I had everything I needed. I was raised by my grandfather pretty much most of my life, and that's the person that taught me to become a man, taught me everything I know. He's the reason why I got the mindset that I got now.
Yeah.
Never really had much family other than him. I had lots of friends, or at least people that I thought was my friends, at the time. And not very many people that's ever come across me that don't remember who I am,
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Walk us through the day of your accident, man.
All right, well, it was a regular summer day, canoeing. That's something that just about everybody from South Louisiana does, a time or two. All it costs is $20. You can rent a canoe for the day, spend the whole day on the river, barbecue a little bit, got a drink on the river and just floated.
Yeah.
Stopped off at the rope swing, jumped out of a couple of trees off into the river, jumped off of a couple of cliffs that I've jumped off of pretty much my whole life, They got a total of 3 rope swings on the canoe trail at the opening river. So I cleared me a little path in the woods at the top of that cliff. And the cliff was a good 25 foot, from the top of the cliff to the water,
Yeah.
So, I climbed, got a little trail that, you can make your way to get to the top. And I cleared me a trail through the woods, a good 30, 40 yards, so I can get enough speed so that way whenever I hit the water, I'd be going fast enough to where I wouldn't have to hold my breath as long, and a better chance of getting to the bottom.
Yeah.
So got to the, cleared my little path, got running. I was running pretty much full speed by the time I hit the edge of the cliff to jump. And whenever I dove, instead of diving straight down, I dove at more of an angle.
Yeah.
And I missed a drop off, and it hit a wall of sand. And whenever I done that, they told me you heard my neck snap from 2 sandbars away. And at the time, I knew what had happened. I knew that I had broke my neck. I've been told my entire life, quit cutting backflips, quit jumping off of shit, quit doing all this crazy nonsense, because you're gonna break your neck. And I've told everybody, I said, man, I'm not gonna break my neck. I said, man, I'm invincible. I said, it's gonna take a whole lot more than that to take me out. I tried to swim back up, and my body was just limp. And at this point, I felt myself get, I tried with everything I had to come back about this water. But, my body was pretty much dead to me at this point, and I'm on the verge of not just drowning, but choking to death at the same time. And, I just felt myself getting pulled to the shore. After 20 years of walking and doing everything without even thinking about it, to trying with every fiber of my being just to lift my arm or to even open my mouth all the way and take a breath.
Saying that, what's your ultimate desire moving forward? Last question.
My ultimate desire moving forward, man, I just want to make a positive impact, man. I want to try to turn these people from accepting handouts. Now if you're mentally incompetent, and I don't mean stupid or anything like that, but if your mind is just not there, then yes, you deserve assistance. But if you have a decent enough mind, then you can find a way to do something for other people.
Yes.
And my ultimate goal, man, is, I mean, personally, you know, I want not my name, my grandfather's name, who I'm named after, James Sherwin Duplessis, to live on in a positive way. And if my situation and my determination can put even one person on a better path in their life, then that'll make this entire situation worthwhile, man. That is my goal.